What's good? It's Fevir. The third closed beta for Lost Ark has now ended, and I'll be going through the tons of footage that I collected to show off certain parts of the game. Today, however, I wanted to show you a very specific boss fight, the yin-yang white and black boss. One huge note, you'll notice it right away, I'm fighting without my HUD or interface turned on. I recorded the fight twice, once with and once without it, and there will be to come a ton of raw footage with the Korean interface, but because I just wanted to showcase not only the aesthetic, but also the moveset and the feel of combat here, I decided to go without for this video. The class I've been playing mainly this test was the Destroyer. This is a warrior type class with a giant oversized hammer. Lots of his moves have heavy animation times and charge mechanics, so combat is going to look a lot slower than it can be, but especially on this fight, you're going to see something that rarely happens in pure action RPG games. There's no face tanking. You're seeing a much more deliberate style of combat, only attacking when you can avoid getting hit, and this is because once you get to the end game type stuff, it's quite easy to die, and for relevant content, it's not something that you can just outgear or get enough life leech and hold down left click. This fight specifically, you should see a ton of different boss fight mechanics, and while this fight is visually striking, this is kind of how the endgame type bosses typically are. I didn't just cherry pick the best example, although the solid white and black makes the strongest impression. On this fight, the thing that really stood out to me was something that was so simple yet weird. I bet you they're not the first to do it, but you're seeing the solid white and solid black enemies being spawned, and then the boss himself changing the color of the platform to in essence hide the enemies, or the projectiles that are coming at you entirely. And you can guess at their locations and attack them that way, or you can use the zones that blow up if you walk over them to spot them, or the ground effects from using a skill just on the ground. And it's such a simple thing, but I was super impressed. And as a challenge, this could only make sense for this specific fight, and you see this throughout a lot of Lost Ark fights, where attacks and abilities of the bosses feel like they were made specifically so that they couldn't be reused, that they weren't interchangeable between bosses. Right, like, sure, shooting an energy ball or an energy beam, you can reskin it and give it to every other boss to round out their kits, but there is more unique than reskinned generally. There's also an emphasis on these like set piece attacks, where whether it's the attack itself, the pose, the camera angle, whatever it is, these attacks seem to go out of their way to look epic. In this attack on the black background, it's okay looking. We're playing avoid the balls while he pulses out a stacking movement slowing debuff. But if we skip ahead about a minute, you'll see his next attack on the white background is basically a spirit bomb. You're going to hear a lot of gushing over Lost Ark in the next few weeks as I organize footage, but I'm telling you just straight up, Lost Ark as a game doesn't really bring anything new and unique, it just does everything so well and is able to impress you without novelty. I'll let the rest of the video play out. Until next time, this is Fevir.